After the death of their leader Joshua, the Israelites sought guidance from the Lord, asking who should lead the continued effort to drive out the remaining Canaanites. The tribe of Judah was chosen to go first, and they allied with the tribe of Simeon. Together they won several battles, capturing key cities like Bezek and Jerusalem, though they couldn't fully drive out the inhabitants in some areas. They defeated various Canaanite kings and took over more territory, including Hebron and Debir. Caleb gave his daughter Achsah in marriage to Othniel, his nephew, as a reward for conquering a city, and she requested additional land and springs of water. Despite many victories, the tribes struggled to fully conquer all their allotted regions. In many cases, they allowed the Canaanites to remain, sometimes forcing them into labor rather than removing them entirely. This pattern of incomplete obedience and cohabitation set the stage for future struggles. The Lord's angel went from Gilgal to Bochim and gave the Israelites this message from the Lord. I promised your ancestors that I would give this land to their families, and I brought your people here from Egypt. We made an agreement that I promised never to break, and you promised not to make any peace treaties with the other nations that live in the land. Besides that, you agreed to tear down the altars where they sacrificed to their idols. Why haven't you kept your promise? And so I'll stop helping you defeat your enemies. Instead, they will be there to trap you into worshipping their idols. The Israelites started crying loudly, and they offered sacrifices to the Lord. From then on, they called that place Crying. Even though Joshua was gone, the Israelites were faithful to the Lord during the lifetime of those men who had been leaders with Joshua, and who had seen the wonderful things the Lord had done for Israel. After a while, the people of Joshua's generation died, and the next generation did not know the Lord or any of the things he had done for Israel. The Lord had brought their ancestors out of Egypt, and they had worshipped him. But now the Israelites stopped worshipping the Lord and worshipped the idols of Baal and Astarte, as well as the idols of other gods from nearby nations. The Lord was so angry with the Israelites that he let other nations raid Israel and steal their crops and other possessions. Enemies were everywhere, and the Lord always let them defeat Israel in battle. The Lord had warned Israel he would do this, and now the Israelites were miserable. From time to time, the Lord would choose special revolutionary leaders known as judges. These judges would lead the Israelites into battle and defeat the enemies that made raids on them. In years gone by, the Israelites had been faithful to the Lord, but now they were quick to be unfaithful and to refuse even to listen to these judges. The Israelites disobeyed the Lord, and instead of worshiping him, they worshipped other gods. When enemies made life miserable for the Israelites, the Lord felt sorry for them. He would choose a judge and help that judge rescue Israel from its enemies. The Lord was kind to Israel as long as that judge lived. But afterwards, the Israelites would become even more sinful than their ancestors had been. The Israelites were stubborn. They simply would not stop worshipping other gods or following their teachings. The Lord was angry with Israel and said, "The Israelites have broken the agreement I made with their ancestors. They won't obey me, so I'll stop helping them defeat their enemies. Israel still had a lot of enemies when Joshua died, and I'm going to let those enemies stay. I'll use them to test Israel, because then I can find out if Israel will worship and obey me as their ancestors did." That's why the Lord had not let Joshua get rid of those enemy nations all at once. And the Lord had another reason for letting these enemies stay. The Israelites needed to learn how to fight in war, just as their ancestors had done. Each new generation would have to learn by fighting the Philistines and their 5 rulers, as well as the Canaanites, the Sidonians, and the Hivites that lived in the Lebanon mountains from Mount Baal Hermon to Hamath Pass. Moses had told the Israelites what the Lord had commanded them to do, and now the Lord was using these nations to find out if Israel would obey. But they refused, and some of them even married Canaanites, Hittites, Amorites, Perizzites, Hivites, and Jebusites who lived all around them. That's how they started worshipping foreign gods. Othniel. The Israelites